What's up, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with another haul video and some reviews. Before I get started, I want to go ahead and say this before I forget. Go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and also the bell notification so that when videos drop like this ever so randomly, you will be one of the first people to know. And then you can make the choice. Do I want to look at it or I want to do something else? Maybe I want to watch celery grow or whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. But I have some pickups that I was able to make it to the LCS yesterday and picked up some comic book goodness and also got some more stuff in the mail. So let's check her out. What's going on? It's morphin time. Just because you said that, I'm going to go ahead and drop some morphin goodness for you. How about that? So I saw this on IG, and this just came in today. And what's going on? Adrian, how are you? I got this in today. Looked too awesome to pass up for $6 on IG. And so bought several other things from the same seller. I believe that this is Madam Morphin Power Rangers. 50 maybe, 52. So picked that one up. And then we got what's going on, Mr. Gorell? I got New Warriors 14. The only reason this is totally a cover buy, this is an homage cover to X-Men 100. And where both X-Men teams are pitted against each other. And if you'll notice right here, it says After Cockrum. So a nod to where the original idea came from. What's going on? What's going on? Well, there we go. Rob. And then Burke has dropped some Morphin knowledge for me and for the chat. Then I picked up some Moon Knight covers from that same guy on IG that I got that Morphin cover from. That's Moon Knight number 16. Got a little zombie vibe to it. A little zombie vibe. This is Marvel 15. This is the alternate cover. Trying to think. Is it? They used to put his art, Rockwell, Norman Rockwell, on the front of the Saturday Evening Post. All right. Then we've got Moon Knight 14. We got Moon Knight 6. Really dope David Finch cover. And really dug the art. Well, I like Finch's art, period, but Moon Knight, certainly dope. Then we've got the Fist of Khonshu, Moon Knight number 2 from that series. And then we've got Moon Knight number 5, again, back to the Finch series, and a little Taskmaster action in the background there. Got some free comic book day goodies. A lot of these free comic book day stuff I've just been picking up just because it was there. Some of the stuff I was interested in reading and have, but other stuff not so much. This one I actually read, Jack Kirby, The Epic Life of the King of Comics. So this is not the full comic, just kind of a teaser, if you will. So I'm not sure. I might pick that up. Seemed interesting enough. West Coast Avengers 28. This is the time that shortly after Moon Knight had joined the West Coast Avengers. So got this out of the dollar bin yesterday. Then we've got the True Believers copy of Uncanny X-Men 222, 227. First appearance of Mr. Sinister. I like to pick up these True Believers that I've got a copy of, and I've got a copy of direct and a newsstand copy of this, and this one, and the I think it was a Toys R Us variant cover. So much fun variant. Then I got Usagi Yojimbo. How could you not? How could you pass up some Usagi Yojimbo? So I got the free comic book day, but I wasn't sure to put it on my pull list or what I wanted to do. But I saw this yesterday, heard a lot of people talking about it, so decided to pick it up. And it's Firepower #1. I think the third issue is now out, but this the first one was on the shelf at the LCS. He didn't have any of the other ones, so I decided to pick it up. Interesting enough, Kirkman, of course, better known for Walking Dead, Oblivion Song, and some other stuff. I do collect Oblivion Song every month, and might pick up at least #2, see what it's about. Anybody in the chat reading Firepower can throw in some words, good or bad, for it. New Mutants #12. I took New Mutants off of the pull list. But I couldn't pass it up when I got there, so just to get it anyway. It was an okay read. I was reminded why I dropped New Mutants. Of course, with this Ten of Swords deal, they're going to pull me back in for at least a couple of arcs there. But we got Deceased Dead Planet. This is the Matina variant, which is cool, but this is not really the one I wanted. I wanted the movie homage. I think it's V for Vendetta this time, but very interesting. I didn't get on board with the original Deceased run, although I do have a lot of the issues. I didn't get on board when that first came out. Got this Dead Planet series, and then the other one, Unkillables. Really like the Unkillables still, which told the story from the bad guy side, if you will. And then Dead Planet, they come back and they say, hey, there is a cure for it, but this is what we've got to do. Don't think it's a spoilery at this point, because this came out on Tuesday, because it is a DC book. But very interesting story. Elongated Man attacked them, or Plastic Man rather. Plastic Man attacked them last issue. Some of them died. They managed to escape. Now they figured out, hey, the part of this is what we need is to make things right. We've got to go and get one of the mother boxes. So they're figuring out. So they go. Constantine goes and finds Mr. Miracle at the end of this one. He's all in seclusion because Big Bart is dead and all that. And so Constantine convinces him. He's like, how do I know that you're not just lying or trying to manipulate me? And he holds up the lasso, Wonder Woman's lasso, which he brought because he knew he would ask that question. So then we've got Cable #4 by Jerry Duggan and Phil Noto. The art's okay. Not sure about the story. Cable figures out that these people that got the sword have kind of trapped him, and so he goes last issue and gets the arm, the time traveling arm, which from the old man Cable's body. Gets it from Deadpool. That's where he first meets young Cable. First meets Deadpool there. There is at worst some great. Oh yeah. What's going on, John Comics with Kids? How are you doing today, sir? So I'm a big Cable fan, not a big Kid Cable fan. So he figures out that the old man knew what he was doing, and he allowed him to kill him, essentially. He knew what he would need to do, and so he actually allowed him to kill him, because if you remember in the Extermination storyline, he kills him and he says, you should have seen that coming. Obviously, he's referring to time travel and the like. So in this one, it replays that scene in there, and old man Cable whispers, I did. And so he has a bomb in his arm, which he's able to let loose, and they're able to escape those guys. And then at the end, he goes and sits down with Cyclops and as the Summers family and says, hey, don't be so anxious to grow up. I don't know if that's kind of just a callback to, hey, you used to be an old guy and I never had my time with you, or if that's kind of a hint that he might be going to grow up. Maybe the old man Cable is coming back. We shall see. Then we've got Wolverine #5. So longtime Wolverine fan. And so when Wolverine 1 came out, I picked up a bunch of the covers, including 3 copies of the banana cover, and been going through this. So first one I was kind of iffy on because it had two stories in there. The whole story is about the flowers of Krakoa, and then they had the story with Omega Red and the vampire story. Now, that was a little more interesting. Well, they pick up in 2 and 3, and with the flower story, and I'm like, I was kind of struggling through it. So then 4 seemed like an old Wolverine story. He walks into a bar, and then come to find out it's all these people callbacks from age-old Wolverine stories. So that was really cool how they called that back. And then at the end, he gets thrown into the water, frozen water, and the vampires come and get him. This issue, you find out why the vampire wanted to kill him, and it's kind of ominous rather, or setting something up towards the end when he kills the vampires and says, hey, why don't you leave me frozen, you need not come after you. And they say, hey, we're not ready, we're just getting ready for your people. But his blood allows them to walk in daylight, like Blade is able to walk in the daylight. And so that's why they wanted him. Well, he breaks loose with the help of some kid vampires, and he takes on the vampires. And then at the end, he's transported out, and he sees somebody that he knows. It's a cue up for the Ten of Swords storyline. So we'll see how that goes. But like the Omega Red was not really in this one. He was only at the end of the other one. So a bunch of teases with him. So we'll see how that goes from here. So the story of the week, I think, at least to me, and that is Batman 98. I think Tinian, whatever he wants to call himself, whatever I want to say, potato, tomato, it doesn't matter. But I mean, awesome storyline. How he comes to grips with, hey, Alfred's gone. And we kind of wondered if maybe he was going to unwrite some of Tom King's shenanigans. But there at the end, we figured out, hey, he's not going to unwrite it. He's just kind of dealing with it differently than Tom King did in his art. So what's going on, Warlord? But he's dealing with it differently than what Tom King did. So he's dealing with it. He's seeing these visions, hallucinations while he's trying to get through the whole Joker serum stuff. Harley's giving him this tea. It's still all trippy. And Harley's getting her butt kicked by Punchline. He wakes up in time, and there's only one scene. He comes up and does the little thing with his cape, and it says Batman. And that's all she wrote. Punchline's like, and that's it. There's no punchline. There was no Joker. It was over with. So that's when he figures, hey, I'm fixing to call in the whole family. Now, when the whole family, you would think, oh, he's talking about the Bat family, right? He's talking about Nightwing. He's talking about all these guys, right? But then at the end, Catwoman comes up and says, hey, let's go. And she's talking to the Riddler and the Penguin. So we're talking about the whole family. So the Joker is going to have a lot, if not all, of the Batman rogues gallery going against him. So it's going to get interesting. It's been interesting. It's going to get even more interesting. So I'll pick this up. This is the David Finch cover. So that was cool enough for an A cover. The Matina cover is awesome as usual. So I'll tell you a cool story about this cover, which is the 1-in-25 ratio. So these are kind of hot when it comes to this Batman storyline. I've got a few of them. I got the Joker one. I've got the designer one. I've got the Punchline one, which was the one that started it all. But so none of these I paid a lot of money for because it's a 1-in-25. These things start going for crazy money. I'm okay paying $25 for it. But when you start talking about $40 and $50 and $60 that some of these shops are charging right straight out of the gate for these things, it gets really crazy. So a couple of weeks ago, Batman is on my pull list every single week. So a couple of weeks ago, in preparation, looking at what's coming out ahead, then I said, hey, are you going to order enough Batman? Which I figured he was because it's a pretty popular thing. Hey, what's going on, Schwab for Comics? It's a pretty, popular series. I figured he had at least 25 copies he was going to order. I said, are you going to order the 25 copies in order to get the 1-in-25 incentive variant? He said, yeah. I said, would you put it back for me? Because I typically go in Wednesdays. This week it ended up being Thursday, but typically I go on Wednesday. Well, now DC's comics is coming out on Tuesdays. And so, there's going to be all these people in before me. He said, yeah, I'll put it back for you. So cool. I didn't ask him how much he was going to charge. So I get to the shop yesterday and look through, usually go up there. He pulls my pull list, and I look through all the stuff that's in there, and then go to the shelves and make sure I didn't miss anything. So this one's in there. I said, how much are you going to charge me for this? He said, cover price. So it's $4.99. So some of you might have LCSs that were already charging $25 plus for this right here. And this one was in my pull box, $4.99, which is what the cover price says. And I said, really? Are you sure? And so congrats on the shout out on Free Key. But yeah, so he says, yeah, I'm sure. And I said, dude, I'm okay paying $25 for it. Not much over that, but I'm okay paying $25. Are you sure? Because I know you held this, you could have done sold it, blah, blah, blah. He said, no, I'll charge you $4.99. So he charged me $4.99 for that. So I ended up filling up a box of Dollar Bin comics. He gave me a slight discount for doing that. I bought all those new comic books that you've done seen. I got from him. The other Dollar Bin stuff I got from him. I'm going to show you some more stuff that I got from him. And I got this yesterday, which is Rodimus Prime. So, and so, when he changed into Rodimus Prime, he picked up this little camper deal. So I got this from him yesterday, and I've decided that I'm going to, Warlord says he'd give me $25 for it. Yeah, I'm sure you would. I think we'll hold on to it. I'm going to get a shelf in that blank wall space that I showed you in my manga tour video. If you hadn't watched it, go check it out, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But I've decided I'm going to put a case like Justin, that's Birch, which is on Two Brothers Comics channel, especially on Saturday nights, Babylon videos. And I'm going to get one of those from IKEA, and I'm going to put it up there. And so I'm going to put the comics behind there that really stands with those toys. I'm not going to get anything crazy like Sideshow Collectibles or anything like that, but I'll probably get like the Marvel Legends. So kind of in my mind, I've got Livo, I can't remember his last name, but he done the Kill Lock series as well as Transformer stuff with IDW. He did a sketch cover for me a while back that I showed on a previous video. With the Matrix of Power, just like the Transformers, the movie scene. So I'm going to have this in front of them. I also recently picked up another copy, which I'm going to get pressed and graded, of Transformers #1, which is the Bill Sienkiewicz cover. And I'm going to get an Optimus Prime. Then I've got the Moon Knight Legends figure, the Walgreens exclusive. I'm going to put the first Moon Knight on that, behind that. And Werewolf by Night was at 32, 33. And that's what I'm going to kind of do, the vibe I'm going to kind of put in there. I'm thinking He-Man. I'm just like 80s, 90s vibe. I've got some Turtles ordered for the TMNT 1, which will definitely be one of the people in there. And no toys can compare to the 80s G.I. Joe, He-Man, and Transformers. Yeah, and look, Hasbro and them definitely got their fair share of my family's money during that time, because I've got plenty of the mentioned toy items there. Look, they really knew how to sell stuff, because when you saw those cartoons, and then they were followed up with commercials saying, hey, you like those cartoons right here? You can play with those same toys. And so you can have quick runs to the Woolworths, the Gibsons. Yes, that is dating me, the TG&Ys, and of course later Walmarts, to get those toys that you just had to have. And so I got a lot of those. And so it's going to be like the 80s, 90s retro deal with the comics. I'm still going to tie the comics back into it. So I picked this up, free comic book day, Mean Girls senior year. It was just a free comic book day deal. Got these in the Dollar Bin. Ivar the Time Walker, #5. if you haven't ever read that story, Ivar the Time Walker, I suggest you pick it up. You can get it, either a digital download. There's several different deals. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I ordered the Michelangelo. I have not ordered the rest of them yet because I ain't even got the case yet. So just kind of the process, and hopefully everything will come together at the same time. So that is, we'll see how it works out. And then I've got number 7, number 8. But this is a really interesting series, especially if you're into time travel and all that kind of stuff. So Ivar, for those of you who don't know, and you knew I had to throw some Valiant in there somewhere, right? So the Ivar is the brother, the third brother of Archer and Armstrong. So Armstrong is the brother to the Eternal Warrior, and so Ivar is the third brother. I held off on the shredder, the super shredder. I did see the regular size shredder. I saw the regular size shredder, and I was kind of unsure which one I wanted. Of course, now I might have made the decision by not making the decision, if that makes sense, because there might not be nothing but the skinny shredder as an option. Because I really need to see how much space that I got in there for that, because the TMNT 1 is a wide book, and so those figures are bigger, and so I want to at least have all 4 turtles in there. So if I've got room for all 4 turtles, then we'll see where we can go from Shredder and for Splinter. So what we got here, I have not got any of the new Transformers lines in. And so are you talking about the toys, or are you talking about the comics? When it comes to the comics, I have talked to a couple different people, and they've gave me some suggestions as to where would be a good jumping on point, because there's just so many. IDW has put out so many different titles, and I picked up a couple here and there, and I was totally lost other than knowing the character. But as far as knowing the storyline and where it was going, I was totally lost. So I've gotten several suggestions about that. And Spirit, was it you that was telling me what volumes to pick up for that Transformers? It was like some omnibuses or something like that. Put it down in the chat, because I was trying to remember who it was that mentioned that to me before. But I've gotten the Marvel issues. I've gotten several of that original Marvel series run. That's about all I got in the comics. So then we've got Ultimate X-Men 53, which I had started collecting, but then I had sold them all and said, hey, I'm just going to stick with the major X-Men lines. Okay, well, maybe it wasn't you. It was somebody that came in the chat one time, and they knew a lot more about the more recent stories of the Transformers, because my knowledge is very dated to that, because it's pre-Beast Wars, right? So, but on this was totally a cover buy, because this was a Rogue and Gambit cover, because that is going to be one of the themes to my wall. When I rotate my walls out, my comic wall out, that's going to be one of the themes, is Rogue and Gambit. First appearances together on the cover, that type of stuff. Then I've got Wildcats 26. Pick that up out of the dollar bin. Number 33. Number 34. $36. So my they let my daughter into my office, and so she decided to hit the toy. So I'm liking the miniseries Transformers 84 Lies and Secrets from IDW. Well, hey, if you know a lot more about the newer stuff and can give me some suggestions, hit me up on IG and let me know, because that would be a good place to start. So and so to finish the conversation about the LCS guy, so I put all that stuff up and rang it up, and it was $160 something. He said, "That's why I let you have that for $4.99. You're not a guy coming in here, and I know you're going to turn around and flip that book on the internet for ever how much money. You're coming in here, you're buying this stuff mostly free PC." Which the dollar bin books, I told him, I said, "Look, I'm going to sell these. Some of them I'm going to keep, but some of them I'm going to sell." So so I was totally honest on that, but for the most part, that's what I do. I mean, I buy stuff for me and mine. Occasionally, it'll leave me, like when I lose interest or want to move on to something else. Try to make some room, but I get rid of 2 and I get 10 back. So that room argument really never helps, or is never really true. It's more I get fall out of love with something and want to start on something else if I sell out my PC. So he said, that's why I gave you the ratio variant for $4.99. So Deceased, this is from the original run, is 6 of 6. Awesome Mark Brooks cover. Got it out of the dollar bin. The dollar. Make ya holla bin. Then we got Mark Spectre Moon Knight, number 36. Mark Spectre Moon Knight, number 44. Face only a mother could love. Hey, baby, kiss me goodnight. So then we've got Mark Spectre Moon Knight, number 46. And 47. Been picking up these Moon Knights on the cheap here and there, especially the original series, with the Bill Sienkiewicz art and stuff. But I found those, so picked those up. Secret Wars 2, number 5, and this is the first appearance of Boom Boom, or Boomer, or Meltdown, Tabitha, whatever she wants to call herself nowadays. This is her first appearance in this comic right here. So if you recall, she had a messed up face, and the Beyonder fixed it. The Legend of Zelda, number 2. So these things can actually, get a little pricey, these old Valiant comics, because when Valiant, first started, they were doing much like IDW was, and that is licensing out or getting licenses from companies and printing comics. They did Zelda, Game Boy, and some other things. But then, of course, they did the third largest, or what would become the third largest connected universe. And superheroes is what they're more known for. What's going on, Ruben Guzman? Cowabunga, dude. Cowabunga, dude. Then we've got Years of Future Past, number 1. This is the spin out. Oh, okay, yeah. That threw her in that cartoon, of course. She became a New Mutant and was part of X-Force when much of its first iteration. This came out of the Secret Wars deal, and of course, it's a play on Days of Future Past. This is Years of Future Past. That's issue 1. I've got issue 2, which is an homage to the Days of Future Past issue gone by, and then this is issue number 4. Then got the free comic book day Lady Mechanica. Don't know anything about it. I think it's been an option. Got it because it was a free comic book. Then Naruto. Know absolutely nothing about this. Again, that was just a free comic book day. Warlord went live for 3 seconds. He accidentally pushed the button, I guess. So then we've got Rorschach, which I like the character Rorschach in Doomsday Clock and all that kind of stuff, Watchmen. But Tom King shenanigans, he's hit and miss for me. He was good in Vision, not so good in Batman. There's certain characters he's good with, and others not so much. Lady Mechanica is a good story. I'm going to get the trade of it eventually. Okay, cool. Dollar Loves Lady Mechanica. Cool. I've seen it at shows and stuff like that, and it was just, I'm like, there's so many of these just women, grab covers, and there's nothing to the story about just, guys able to draw sexy ladies. And that is fine for those that you buy it. And I'm not going to say that I've never bought one like that. Not the risque stuff, but, like the Rogue covers, right? So nothing risque. But there's no story usually attached to those. They're just like, hey, buy this because this looks good. I've got money for other stuff. So Rorschach, this is a black label, so probably going to be a little more darker story. And I got two, so I could just do that right there, like the poster curves up. And I did the same thing with the Batman because it just like it curves over. So got those as well. Starting to get a box. I don't know if Burke is still in the chat, but I have been chatting with your presser, and I'm going to be using your coupon code for him when I get this box of books filled up to send to him and then him on to CGC. So appreciate the coupon code. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out Burke Family 54 Comics, aka Burke Nasty. And anyway, check him out. And he's got a coupon code for a pressing service over there that he says is pretty good. So I'm going to try it out. And if it's bad, it's all your fault. It's all your fault. I'm going to blame you. So, but that's it, guys. That is all that I've got. But remember that you've got the touch and you've got the power. Optimus. Mr. Comics 89 shows up at the last minute and says Spider-Man versus Bishop. I feel sorry. So what he's talking about is the head-to-head deal that he does on his channel. If you haven't checked out those videos where he has two people on a show, him and one other person, and they argue back and forth as to who would win in a fight head to head. And he and I did a Fantastic Four and an X-Men Gold from back in the day fight, and of course the X-Men Gold won. Now he's now come back around to where the winner goes into the winner's bracket. So he wanted to know which X-Men Gold I would pick against Spider-Man. And I'm like, man, this is just so unfair to Spidey, because who do you pick? A woman that could just like lightning and electrocute him? Do you pick a woman that could make his brain turn off? Do you pick a guy that can just like freeze him internally? Do you pick a guy that no matter how hard he hit him is just made of metal, and once he grabs his arm, he's going to turn it into spaghetti? I mean, what do you do? So I picked Bishop. I said that is the fairest to him. Don't know how fair that is going to be for him, but we will see. We will see. And so Warlord says he's going to try to go live after the show. So good. But yeah, we shall see. So check out Mr. Comics 89's channel for the dates and times on that. But that's all I got, folks. I thank you for stopping by. For those who watch this live or for those who catch this on the rewind, either case, remember that I am going to be giving away for 600 subscriber giveaway, and not only a Deadpool pop that has the first appearance on that, but the actual first appearance in a 9.4 CGC slap. So I have not released the details about it yet, but suffice it to say, and it's a safe bet, that you will, one, have to be over 18, and then two, you will have to be a subscriber to the channel. So go ahead and get those things out of the way. If you're 18, I can't help you. I can't like send you into the future if you're not 18 yet. Or if you would like to be back to 18, I can't send you to the past. Morty, great Scott. No, we can't go back to the past. But if you're over 18, you need to be a subscriber to the channel. I'll go ahead and give you that hint. But as far as what we have to do from there, obviously we have to get to 600 subscribers. But as far as what we do between that time, I will be letting you know. So be watching for that video. And a good way to know that you won't miss when that video drops is to hit that bell notification so that when videos drop like this ever so randomly, you will be one of the first people to know. And then you can make the decision. Watch celery grow or go watch Southern. Hey, it's easy. Celery's great. So with that said, I do appreciate y'all. And until next time, remember, keep reading and keep collecting. Adios. Optimus.